Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics, and we're going to talk about Ezra Klein's new book, Abundance. Now, I want to make this clear. I don't get abundance yet. I don't understand what Ezra Klein is saying in this book yet, but I'm approaching it, and I have figured out, and just hearing conversation about this book has given me what I need to understand the topic we're going to talk about today. So, breaking points. I've started to return to listen to some of their content. Now, why did I stop listening to Breaking Points? I love Breaking Points. I love Sagar and Jetty. I love Crystal Ball. But they hired Ryan Grimm, right? And they also hired Emily Blank. I don't know the last name there. Somebody fill in the blank if you know it. I despise the coverage of Ryan Grimm. He's nice. I'm sure he's a nice human being. I don't know if he's a nice human being. He's a human being. I treat him with respect because he's a human being. I despise his coverage. I think he is absolutely abominable. And I think he is completely in the bag for Hamas. He's like Hamas's greatest cheerleader, right? And that's not cool. I'm not, and frankly, I think it's anti-Semitic. And so I love Sagar and I love Crystal. But frankly, I was so disgusted by their coverage, by their outrageously slanted coverage, super pro-Hamas coverage of the Israel situation, that it made me leave their channel for a while. But I'm starting to go back. They still have Ryan Grimm. I wish they would, I don't understand why they continue to use him. But each to his own. Make your own choices, right? All right. So here's where we land. So they were covering, so Ezra Klein recently did a book called Abundance, and one of the subjects is why the heck did we get rooked, absolutely destroyed by Donald Trump, and so one of the reasons why is we're starting to unpack and understand what is wrong with the Democrats. That is the subject of the day. And you know what? We're not talking about it too much because, like, I think the Democrats are like 180 years old, right? They are a force to be reckoned with. Even now, even in the stunted, like, right now, what is the Democrats? They're like Voldemort when he was on the back of, like, Professor Quirrell's head. They are just messed up and deformed and stunted from what they used to be. They don't even have their own body, right? Like, they're like Voldemort was like this shriveled, weird, like, wart on the back of Professor Quirrell's head. Like, that's where the Democrats are. They are really hurting, right? But the reality is, this is a two-party country. We ain't going to a third party anytime soon. We're just not. So they still matter, right? And so this question of what the heck is wrong with Democrats is extremely real. And I wanted to look at this in depth. Okay, so I go over, and Emily and Ryan Grimm are on there, and they're talking about Ezra Klein's Abundance, right? And they show Ezra Klein talking to Jon Stewart, and Ezra Klein says, "Hey, one of the reasons why we're in so much trouble as Democrats is we're for big government, right? And we say government works and government can help people, but this doesn't match reality. Government is massive and it costs billions and it helps no one. And we need to start to own that we are carrying the flag for big business, and yet nothing is happening. No one is getting helped, and billions of dollars are being wasted on our say-so." That's fascinating. That is. And so Ezra Klein, in the bag for the Democrats, right? And he's saying, hey, Democrats suck. They're wasting billions. And this is a very real problem, and we need to manage this. We really need to get to the point where we are managing this real problem, that we are the problem. We are wasting billions and doing nothing. So we are for big government that accomplishes nothing. And you're like, wait a second, that's an outrageous, that is an outrageous accusation. Can you talk to me about that? How can you prove to me that the Dems, spend billions and do nothing? And he's like, sure, no problem. Here you go, right? And he talked about this thing that Biden did. So this is very recent, very real. And he said Biden's, group spent billions of dollars and to get Wi-Fi to rural areas that did not have it. They spent billions of dollars. Hundreds of government, if not well over thousands of government employees worked on the problem. They did a whole bunch of analysis. They did a whole bunch of talking. They had a whole bunch of meetings, and absolutely nothing happened. Nobody got rural bandwidth, right? Like, nothing happened. Big government, lots of activity, billions of dollars burned in a hole, and nothing happened. And guess what? There's 100 other projects like this. That one we have all the receipts for. And so the reason we can talk about that one is it's set, right? You can look it up anywhere. They spent billions. They used thousands of man hours and woman hours, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. There you go, right? And so Ryan Grimm and then Emily, they're like, oh, we're going to take it further. We're going to go get the guy who worked on this and tell us exactly why nothing happened, right? So they get Bharat Ramamurti, okay? This guy actually worked on this project, and he worked for Biden. And they're like, why did this happen? Why did you spend billions of dollars and do nothing, right? So he broke it down. He's like, first thing he did, of course, right? Oh, the Republicans stopped us. Well, they slowed us down with a bunch of questions, right? Blah, 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 right? Then he also said corporations slowed us down. Corporations didn't want us to build anything that they could build, right? Or might build in the future, right? And then finally he admitted, yes, and the Democrats slowed us down too with a bunch of stupid questions and with a lot of corporation blocks as well, right? So he went into high detail, right? And so really, I think where we land, and what I walked away and learned from this is not contestable anymore. It's not debatable. If you are a Democrat and you are for big government, you're not for big government in a way that helps. Big government doesn't help anyone. It spends billions and does nothing, right? And so the moment you realize that, now that you're, well, how do we spend money? How do we get things done? And you're looking at it right now, right? You bring in people from business who are not going to deal with analysis paralysis, right? Elon Musk did not deal with analysis paralysis. He cut billions of dollars in government spending and massively changed the government for the better, right? And he did it quickly, right? The other thing is government should never do anything, okay? They can do an analysis. They need to do it quickly. And then they say, okay, here's what we're going to do. And we're going to hand this over to American corporations that will be able to do it because the U.S. government is not capable of doing anything. It is a thought project. It ends at thought projects, right? It ends at decisions. It cannot do anything, right? And what I really think is interesting is, does that mean we might want to corporatize the military? That's an interesting question, because I think that's about the only thing that the government does that is not under direct corporate control. And even if it's not under direct corporate control, the term what is the term? Oh yeah, the term military industrial complex, right? They're corped up, right? Like, they're not fully corporatized yet, but they're pretty corped up. So that's interesting. So here's the suppositions. If you're a Democrat and you're for big government activity. You're not for big government benefit, right? There's no more debate. Big government sucks. It doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't do anything real. Okay. I will put an asterisk on the military. The military is quite real, and it is still technically controlled by the government. Right? So, aside from the military, absolutely nothing done by big government is effective. Right? It doesn't help anyone. Okay, and so and the Dems need to own that and realize that and figure out and not move until they can answer that very real problem. Right, and then the other one is, the government should never do anything other than and actually, you know what? I think we should corporatize the military, right? Just corporatize the military. And I think what you need to do at that point is, the government shouldn't do anything. They should decide what gets done and then hand those jobs to American corporations so that they can make money. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.